His victory here as a teenager in 2005 sparked a generation of players and fans back home. Revered in China, admired worldwide. Enter the dragon, Junhui! And his opponent. There's never been anybody as talented. There's never been anyone who has won more. And yet here he is, on the verge of an 8th UK crown. 30 years after his first. The greatest player in history. Blink and you'll miss him. The Rocket, RonnieO'Sullivan.
What a week. It's all come down to this. Great to have you with us all over the world. And it's good afternoon to our commentary team of Dominic Dale and first up, Philip Studd.
What an atmosphere. It's a red letter day. Two global snooker superstars ready to go toe-to-toe once again for one of the sport's most coveted prizes, the final of the UK Championship. They've already bagged this trophy 10 times between them. Who is going to prevail today over the best of 19 frames? The mutual respect is extremely evident from everything they've said in the build-up to this showpiece. And we're ready to go. It's 8 frames this afternoon, a possible 11 this evening. RonnieO'Sullivan looking to better his own record and win an 8th title. Ding Junhui, runner-up last year, a 4th.
Thank you. The first round. Ding Junhui to break.
Three times champion Ding Junhui to get us underway. One of the biggest days on the snooker calendar, Dominic.
Yes, indeed. Good afternoon, everybody. Really looking forward to this final here at the York Barbican, the final of the 2023 UK Championships. The respective form of both of these players suggests a very close and tense final.
One.
And what a great start from RonnieO'Sullivan. First look at a long red, in it goes, beautifully on the black, to develop the two reds just next to the black.
O'Sullivan has described his overall performances this week as patchy, but his long game has been very consistent throughout. A return of nearly 3 out of 4, 73% for the tournament. That is excellent. And he's been able to be clinical in the key moments. Ding Junhui has had to battle through a number of rounds. He's shown real resilience and determination. O'Sullivan, in particular, yesterday, ruthless in punishing Hossein Vafai's potting mistakes after the interval from 2-all, as he won 4 straight frames to set up this final.
9.
Only once has he been defeated in the UK Championship title match. Mark Selby, 2016, 10-7.
$14.
Left himself a bit of a tester here, Ronnie, because he cannoned into a red. They tried to avoid, and we saw Judd Trump yesterday in that 10th frame, I think it was, miss a red very similar to this because it just grazed the near jaw.
RonnieO'Sullivan, 14.
It always looked just a little while. So, great long red, not amounting to much for O'Sullivan with his first visit. O'Sullivan has a very handsome lead in the overall head-to-head. He's won 19 of their 24 matches, but the victories that Ding has had over O'Sullivan have been very significant, not least last season here in the quarterfinals when he whitewashed Ronnie O'Sullivan.
1.
It's their 6th meeting in a final. O'Sullivan's won 4 of the 5.
Three. 4.
Finished a little straighter on this black than he would have liked. We'll have to power this black in for position. As so often is the case when you have to play a shot with excessive pace like that, it's difficult to control the cue ball perfectly. Don't think he's on the red to the right of the cue ball, but there may be a possible red past the brown, but that doesn't go either. You can see the pink's just in the way.
RonnieO'Sullivan 11.
Amazing to think that Ding rocked up here on the first Saturday of the UK Championship and seriously considered pulling out. He had dizzy spells, he had a temperature on the Saturday morning. He said he was struggling to get out of bed. He thought to himself, well, I'll give it a go, because he loves this tournament. 4-2 down against Mark Allen, the man who deprived him of a 4th title in the final last year. Turned that around and the rest is history. What a week he's had. He's just beaten the player of the season, Judd Trump. Came through an epic against Mark Williams from 1 down with 2 to play. So he has thoroughly earned his place in this title match. What a scene. Every seat taken. Wonderful atmosphere. And a great week of snooker, which promises a terrific climax. Another good red from distance from O'Sullivan to get back in.
Yes, undoubtedly Ronnie seems to have settled quicker than Ding. A couple of positional errors, though, have meant that he hasn't made the frame-winning break he was intending to. But with the reds in wonderful possible positions as they are here, maybe he can go on to secure the first frame from this effort.
5.
Considering the overwhelming head-to-head advantage that O'Sullivan had coming into this final, I think it would be, well, it's fair to say he would be happier playing Ding than Judd Trump.
12.
Ding went a full decade without beating O'Sullivan, which amounted to 7 straight losses, but of course he put that right in a big way at the World Championship 2017, 13-10 in the quarterfinals. Nice recovery, awkward black.
20. 21.
With the cue ball so close to the object ball there, Ronnie just couldn't quite control the degree of backspin on the cue ball. I think the cue ball's finished on the black spot it has.
28.
The red along the top cushion is a thin cut and is easily missed. There is an alternative red to the right centre though.
29.
just
36.
needs one more red and colour, Ronnie O'Sullivan. That's a good pot. It's going to be on the blue.
Yes, Ding could still tie the frame with this blue, so O'Sullivan just thinking about position on what will be frame ball red. It's been a pretty solid start. Already a couple of eye-catching long pots from O'Sullivan.
$43.
Youngest ever winner of this title, 30 years ago. Could today become the oldest winner. Celebrates his 48th birthday on Tuesday.
50. $51. $58. 59.
Ding yet to pot a ball, and Ronnie O'Sullivan will be keen to keep it that way. He doesn't want to allow Ding an opportunity to come to the table to get a feel of conditions.
$64. 65. $71. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 71 on the first
A break
set.
of 71 from Ronnie O'Sullivan, who has monopolised the table in the opening frame of the UK Championship final. The rocket is off and running. He leads Ding Junhui 1-0.
Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Our referee for the final, Rob Spencer, calling this capacity crowd to order. Big day for Rob. This is his first Triple Crown final.
One.
Brilliant. Superbly cued from Ding.
Yeah, fantastic pot this from Ding. I can only presume the red next to the black wasn't available, otherwise he couldn't have taken that risk. There you can see it is tied up, but the black still does go. Now, I've often extolled the virtues of Ding's extraordinarily good positional play. The cue ball and object ball are never too far apart from one another when Ding's at the table. That's why he's such a great break builder.
O'Sullivan told Rachel ahead of this final he thought Ding was the best break builder he's ever seen. That's the ultimate compliment from the man who's made in excess of 1,200 centuries in his record-breaking career.
No.
I think Ding's intention there was to just be a touch low on the black, to just nudge this red into play. And that's something he can do here.
$16.
I think there might have been a time when Ding was intimidated by playing O'Sullivan, and he wouldn't be the only player in that boat. But these days I think he actually sees it as a challenge that he wants to embrace. he said this week that he wants to play the best because that makes him better.
22.
And he has won both of their previous UK Championship meetings.
Both Ding and Ronnie have had the odd scare along the way before reaching this final today. Particularly Ding in his quarter-final match with Mark Williams had to rally from 5-4 down. RonnieO'Sullivan had a real scare against Gloucester's Robert Milkins, who had some wonderful opportunities in their deciding frame, but just couldn't quite manage it. Ronnie did get the better of him in the end.
Yes, in the case of Ding, the Williams victory was especially significant,
23.
I think. Remember, he was on the wrong end of that record-breaking frame, which relieved you of a record, Dom. 195 points in the single frame, 101.94. Ding lost it, and that could really have done his head in, but of course he turned it around from 4-5 down.
Yes, it was a 62.5-minute frame pretty much, and Ding was a few points behind on the colours. Later, Snooker got a lot of penalty points, and in the end, it looked like
30.
a frame he couldn't lose, but he did. And it did affect him, I think, pretty much, because he lost the next frame as well and went 5-4 down as a result.
31.
But it was that comeback win that secured his place in the Masters, having dropped out of the top 16 because of Zhang Anda winning the International Championship. And that pushed him into the qualifiers, but as we know, Ding seems to be inspired when he gets that kind of wake-up call.
38.
When he made the World Final in 2016, he had to come through qualifying to get to the Crucible.
$39. $46.
O'Sullivan's turn to warm his seat. Brilliant opening red from Ding to set up this chance to hit straight back. I think the point is that although Ding has drifted in and out of form over the last few years, that seems to be irrelevant when he arrives at the Barbican. He seems to save his very best snooker for this venue. He's obviously very comfortable here, enjoys a lot of support here. Quite apart from the tens of millions cheering him on back home.
47.
Very noticeable that they were very vocal for Ding last night. Of course, Judd Trump has his own legion of fans for the way he plays the game, but there was plenty of cheering when Ding got over the line last night.
54. $55.
Ding would like to play for the red closest to the black here in the opposite corner. Had the perfect angle on the black to run through for it, but he's just a little short of pace.
62.
Does still need a couple of reds and colours to secure this first frame, for Ding that is, to level this match up at 1-1.
$63.
It always looked as though it was travelling to the far jaw, so on the cusp of clinching the frame. He was just a red away after that pink from doing it. He's left the chance of a counter for O'Sullivan.
Yes, just shoved it, didn't he, just to the top jaw, and that probably was a psychological error more than anything else. And if Ronnie can capitalise on that error and somehow steal this frame, wow, what a body blow that would be for Ding. That could really affect him. Ding, has to be said, will be just pinning his hopes on that awkward red near the left-hand side cushion here. Could be his only hope.
7.
This is where O'Sullivan was so effective yesterday against Vafai. He had plenty of chances after the interval, having got back to 2-all from 2-0 behind. Missed a couple of reds, missed a black, and each time O'Sullivan was able to step in and punish. And that was the difference, really.
14. 15. 22.
Difficult moments for the 3-times champion.
23.
Well, Ronnie could try to leave an angle on the red here below the pink spot to bring the other one into play. There are all sorts of ways of tackling that difficult red.
He produced a brilliant cannon to a red glued to the left side cushion yesterday, which won him
30.
the frame after Vafai had missed.
31.
This time not the connection he was looking for.
That could have been a little worse though for Ronnie. He can still pot the blue and perhaps leave a double on the red.
$36.
In all the way. And now one good positional shot away from what could be a very significant early steal for O'Sullivan.
$44.
Just wonder how tricky that
46.
pink could prove to be. It's a fairly acute angle into the right centre, but there's plenty of space around it to play for left centre or left corner.
49. $53.
Beautifully on the blue. He could play for the pink here into the right centre as long as he doesn't leave himself too straight on it.
$58. $64.
John Higgins-esque from O'Sullivan. That is a big steal. That is a very big moment early in the UK final. Junhui made 63 and looked as though he was levelling at 1-all. O'Sullivan stepped in with 71. Lovely break of 63 on the cusp of clinching the frame. He missed the pink. And O'Sullivan stepped in with a cool clearance. And this is an early test of Ding's resilience. He's certainly shown plenty of it to get to this final, but that will sting. And the best way of recovering is to come up with something frame winning straight away in this third frame. Banish the memory of the frame he should have won. And he's got the chance to get back in.
1.
He's been prolific all week, 11 centuries coming into this final to O'Sullivan's 4.
Eight.
Ding looking closely at the red, but as you can see from that camera angle, it goes quite clearly.
Nine.
Not easy to
60.
maintain position on the black here from the angle he has on this red. May need just a little bit of fortune.
17.
Fortune like that.
$24. $25.
Ding began his love affair with this UK Championship when he was just
30.
18 years of age, 2005, defeating a rejuvenated Steve Davis in the final, the Barbican.
31.
2 more titles here since then, very nearly a third. Make it a 4th last year, when he led 6-1 against Mark Allen and ended up winning just 1 more frame. But of course, he avenged that loss in the first round from 4-2 behind, and he's never looked back. As close as it can be in a straight line without touching that red, given there's no space on its own
37.
spot.
38.
He was up very quickly. He knew he'd overcut that black.
38.
Wow, Phil, that's an amazing miss, isn't it? He's just not psychologically settled, and I think it's as a result of that incredible and most impressive clearance Ronnie made to steal that second frame. It's just rather shocked Ding. I think he was so surprised himself at missing the pink. And he's very, very concerned of how well Ronnie O'Sullivan has started this match with pots like that.
That was a terrific opening red. It wasn't easy, he made it look so. At that pace, at that angle.
8.
These great players, the true greats of the game, they identify weakness and they pounce on it. And Ding has already made 2. very significant errors early in this UK final. O'Sullivan looking to repeat the dose from frame 2.
60. $17.
Ronnie's looking so settled. You can see the tournament average shot times there. O'Sullivan at 18 seconds, Rob Milkins 19, which is pretty normal for him. Oh, that's worked out nicely. Promoted the red to the left centre. There's only a couple of slightly awkward reds here that could prevent Ronnie from winning the third frame in succession.
$25. $30. $31. $37. $38.
We'll need all 4 of the reds that remain. The 3 that remain now. 2 of them in slightly awkward spots.
$45. $46.
Well, this red to the right-hand centre pocket is thinner than it may appear.
$54.
And the angle on the blue here isn't perfect. He's going to have to power this in. So maybe just a glimmer here for Ding Junhui, because this
59.
red is tricky.
19 out of 22 for the tournament with the rest. Ronnie O'Sullivan. This is a big one. Oh, right in the middle. And that little nudge on the blue hasn't hurt. These are very painful moments for Ding Junhui. He's had gilt-edged chances
64.
to lead this final 2-1.
66.
Instead, he's going to be 3-0 adrift already. This match has only been going 33.5 minutes.
69.
But how sharp does Ronnie O'Sullivan look? It feels as though he's got better with each round. Clinical in the second half yesterday against Fafai. Clinical again today.
$78.
His record in the Triple Crowns is unsurpassed. And he looks
84.
in the mood to further embellish it. Another
91 on the frame.
brilliantly brutal clearance from Ronnie O'Sullivan. 91 this time. Ding Junhui missed a black off its spot and he's been punished again. O'Sullivan furthers his lead. 3 frames to 0.
Ronnie O'Sullivan
To halve the deficit. But O'Sullivan quite sublime in the early running. Mentioned this is their 6th meeting in a major final. O'Sullivan having won 4 out of 5, and all 4 of those were won emphatically. He has a habit of saving his best for Ding on the biggest stage. Masters 10-3. 2007, the old Premier League final, 7-1, 2011. An amazing performance in 2014 in the Welsh Open final when O'Sullivan made a maximum break to win it, potting the final black left-handed. And most recently, the World Grand Prix final, 2018, which he won for the loss of only 3 frames. Ding's triumph came way back in 2006, the old Northern Ireland Open trophy, by 9 frames to 6.
Ding could attempt this red if he wished, but I think his confidence has been severely knocked by the 2 straightforward misses in frames 2 and 3.
Cheers, Ronnie, thank you. Thanks, Dave. Thank you.
One positive for Ding, regardless of the outcome in today's final, is of course that he's back in the top 16 for the Masters, having slipped out of the 16 ahead of this tournament. Secured his spot courtesy of his win over Williams in the quarters.
What?
That's a really good pot once again. He's actually played some lovely snooker in this final. He's just paid a very heavy price for 2 errors that he has made.
Yes, and had it not been for those 2 errors, who knows, Ding could have been quite comfortably 2-1 up himself here. The red just above the black would pot, but it's not straightforward to get onto, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Ding leave an angle here on blue or bulk colour to go into the pack of reds. No guarantee they'll split well, though.
Sam.
Just didn't get into the meat of the reds there. Disappointment again for Ding.
Ding Junhui, Sam.
O'Sullivan has been relatively inactive this season. He's missed 4 ranking tournaments and pulled out of the Champion of Champions recently. But when he has turned up for the ranking events, he's got plenty of points. Mistake from O'Sullivan. but no damage done. Guaranteed to maintain his world #1 ranking with the demise of Trump last evening. Ronnie O'Sullivan. And going for his 40th ranking title. And his first since he won his record-equalling 7th world title. But that was a mistake. No damage.
Quite a useful safety that from Ronnie in many ways, because it's not easy for Ding to get the cue ball back to bulk here and play an effective safety.
O'Sullivan winning the first 3 frames in barely 35 minutes. A real shock to the system for Ding. He'll be thinking that he should have won 2 of them. One of snooker's great occasions.
Very well controlled from Ronnie O'Sullivan, playing that with right hand side. I was very surprised Ding got down to play that so quickly. It should have been obvious that red would go towards that right corner. It would have been left on had it not been for the cannon from cue ball to yellow. And although that red will pop for Ding into the right corner, it's very awkward because the cue ball's only an inch or so off that bulk cushion, and even if he does pop the red, I think the cue ball will be running into the top of the main bunch.
Very tough red, the double kiss. And he's left it for O'Sullivan.
One.
O'Sullivan made a mistake earlier in this frame. Everything ran safe. Ding has made one. The 7 times champ is back in. And so far, he's been deadly.
Seven. Eight.
I think most professional players would tell you that if you do miss the boat, if you don't take your opportunities, you do tend to suffer a poor run of the ball afterwards. Whether it's true, I don't know, but it does seem that way.
Equally, the player on top
50.
always seems to get the odd nudge here and there, just to make life even more difficult for their
60.
opponent.
$23. $24.
Well, this is a key shot for Ronnie. Into the reds. How they split. Well, not too well.
30.
The red that's closest to the left centre is a very thin cutback. There is a red that will also cut into the left centre, just to the left of the cue ball, but it's a very acute angle. Don't think it's there.
RonnieO'Sullivan, 31.
On one of the tables from 20 odd years ago, that would have dropped, but there is virtually no nap at all on these superfine modern cloths, and it did not deviate from its path.
One.
So Ding gets another opportunity to minimise the damage of this first mini session of the final, as we see that red again.
That was an excellent blue from Ding. He could not have felt particularly confident
6.
in playing it with the shots that he's missed before that have proved so costly.
7.
So much pressure on him now, though. Inevitably, he'll be thinking about the errors that he's made that have cost him frames. Has to try and block that out, but it's not easy. He knows he has to take this chance, and that just makes the break a bit more difficult than it would otherwise be.
40.
He's overrun the cue ball there quite a bit, so instead of playing a red to the right corner, he's got a thin cut back now.
15.
Controlled the cue ball well, but still work to do. He's still 6 points behind Ronnie O'Sullivan. Potting this red to the left centre will be a big help, because the two reds then just above the black
22.
become far more accessible.
$23. $29. 30.
I don't think he's played the best positional shot there. He's a
37.
little straight on this red. Have to play it with more pace than he'd like to.
38.
Well played. So once again,
45.
within a few pots,
46.
belatedly securing his first frame of this UK Championship final. This red and another colour.
53.
Relief for Ding Junhui. Finally, he nails his chance, and this has been
61.
an impressive break given the pressure he was under after O'Sullivan missed that tricky red to the left centre. He had to
67.
deliver this time, and he has done. Something to give him a bit of cheer going into the interval.
$69. 71.
And he is cueing beautifully, as he's proved all week. He's taken a couple of big early knocks, but this should make him feel a whole lot better.
78.
Equally, he knows that those pots that he has missed have to be eliminated if he's to entertain thoughts
83.
of a fourth UK Championship. Because O'Sullivan is in unforgiving mood. He's played superbly so far.
89.
A vital frame for Ding Junhui to win, and he won it in style with a break of 89. Ronnie O'Sullivan has produced some of his best snooker of the championship.
Back we go to Dominic Dale and Philip Studd.
Ding Junhui to break.
So Ding Junhui getting us back underway, feeling much better, no doubt, for finally landing his first frame of this UK Championship final when he had two clear chances to do so in frames 2 and 3, Mr. Pink and Mr. Black. But how well did O'Sullivan punish him? The superb clearance of 71 and then 91 after the miss Black. But Ding put together a very composed and steely break of 89 when he was under immense pressure to take that opportunity and reduce the arrears to just 2 frames. 4 more frames coming this afternoon, of course, a possible 11 this evening. 10 is the target for the title, and a cheque for £250,000, 100,000 going to the runner-up. And if O'Sullivan does win a record-breaking 8th title this evening, then he will be playing Ding again in the Masters in the new year. Starting the second half of this first session as he began the final with a great long red. Just a safety though.
Ronnie O'Sullivan won.
Great shot there of Ding's cue action and technique. See that the cue is right in the middle of the chin. He's an even-sighted player, sights with both eyes. Chance for Ding to attempt this straightest red to the right corner. Delicate stun down for the black, perhaps.
One.
Excellent pot. The black spot does appear to be occupied. And that will be a little bit of a problem for Ding, because it would mean it has to go on the next highest available spot, which I think in this case is the brown spot. Don't think the pink spot's available.
Eight. Nine.
Ding could really do with having the pink in play. I don't know if he can cannon those three reds and make the pink spot available. Didn't really try to in the end. So the pink has gone the green spot. So now all these high value
50.
colours are all over the place. You can see that's a perfect plant, probably for the corner and the middle.
16.
So immediately playing up for the black, because the pink spot's available now, and all of a sudden Ding will have one of the high value colours back in play at this end of the table.
Would you believe it?
Ding Junhui 16.
The curse of the routine missed pot strikes again for Ding.
One.
And that wasn't just missed, that was badly missed from Ding's point of view. Somebody with such a straight cue action can only put that down to tension and pressure.
Eight. Nine.
Well, this time Ronnie has some work to do with the cue ball. He's very displeased at finishing the wrong side of the blue. Has to take the cue ball in and out of bulk now. Probably play for the red to the right of the black here. But he's got a lot of traffic to try and avoid. Green, pink and brown. And the yellow in the end, he played a completely different path for the cue ball. And needless to say, it's gone all wrong.
One of the very few errors that O'Sullivan has made so far. The red that he missed that let Ding in for the 89 in the fourth frame was very tricky. But he was clearly not happy with that one. Full ball cannon on the yellow, scappering any hopes of position. Equally, Ding will be mighty relieved that the missed black this time hasn't been expensive in terms of a sizable O'Sullivan break, but a good safety.
A definite half chance for Ding, as this red that sets the black is for Ronnie into the left corner.
One.
No problem at all. Well, he won't be on green or pink. And the brown is surely far too acute an angle. But Ronnie can certainly put Ding in trouble here.
RonnieO'Sullivan 1.
It's a terrific body game from O'Sullivan. Had to connect just right. There's a thin clip into that corner pocket.
Yeah, very thin cut this. Big question is though, does the pink pass the green? Oh, it does. Big chances for Ronnie now if he gets good position on his next red, which he has done.
O'Sullivan's pot success in this UK final so far.
7.
Very impressive. 96. He's only missed 4.
Eight.
Huge kick there. But my fellow professionals won't have a lot of sympathy for Ronnie because he uses the old style of chalk. The days when kicks were prevalent.
16. $23. RonnieO'Sullivan 23.
.3 lead, 67 left.
That was a little unlucky. Cannon the red 4 ball towards that right corner. Just one good positional shot now is what Ron is looking for.
1.
Ding will be relieved.
RonnieO'Sullivan 1.
Ding started this championship in 17th place, having been knocked into the qualifiers by Zhang Ander's heroics at the International Championship, but he's up to 12th now provisionally for getting to the final. And would go back into the top 6 were he to win the final. He was the world #1 back in 2015. Another good safety. O'Sullivan keeping the pressure on.
This again from Ronnie, almost an identical position. Ronnie will be a little more careful though with this shot. He can get the cue ball back to a similar position behind the green, but just need to be careful where this red finishes. I think it's okay, won't pop past the black, so it's pretty safe. The middle red of the three next to the black may cut into the right corner here. Wasn't far away, but look at the cue ball. Superb shot to nothing from Ronnie.
Oh, what a shot. Breathtaking from Ding to pot his way out of trouble and to give himself a chance to win the frame.
Well, that's got to be one of the best shots we've seen in this whole championships, to play it with that much pace.
Now he's got O'Sullivan bang in trouble, and in one moment of inspiration, balance of power in this frame has changed. What a connection from Ding.
Do you know, he even raised the butt of the cue in the air there. Not quite.
Foul and a miss. Ding Junhui 4. Yeah.
Having the cue ball clean, which suggests to me that he's about to take this red on. Should be on the black to the opposite centre pocket if it goes in.
One.
Well played, because that was missable, but he connected with it once again perfectly. Didn't touch the sides of the pocket. Needs another good one.
Eight. Nine.
This black, red-black would put him right back in contention in this frame as he approaches the very tricky yellow.
$60.
Will Ding stun up for the blue, I wonder here.
$17. $24. Ding Junhui 24. Yeah, sure.
Disappointing end to that little break that has got Ding back into contention.
Phil, that's such a poor shot. It could actually cost him the frame. Ronnie be bitterly disappointed if he can't affect the snooker from here.
Cheers, Ronnie. Thank you. Thanks. Ding Junhui 4.
What a huge frame this is becoming for Ding Junhui. He can win it to get to within one, having lost the 2 frames that he did to fall 3-0 behind, would really give him a huge boost. If he loses it, he's back to 3 behind again.
Very lucky there, RonnieO'Sullivan. Just caught the yellow too thinly, wanted it to rebound from the side cushion and back across towards the black spot area. He may still take this yellow on, but as you can see, it's very, very hampered by the green. In fact, probably too much so.
So Ding leaves the yellow. O'Sullivan 9 behind, colours left.
2.
By far and away the scrappiest frame of the final so far, but what a vital one.
Five.
It looked as though that moment of magic from Ding with the sensational long red had turned the frame his way, but he failed to get position on the yellow, failed to execute a snooker, which he'll feel he should have done. And that let O'Sullivan back into the frame. So blue and pink required.
40.
Terrific positional shot. It's not a gimme, but it's for a 4-1 lead. No problem. Another hammer blow for Ding Junhui. Another frame that RonnieO'Sullivan has stolen from under his nose to restore his 3-frame cushion and move into a 4-frames-to-1 lead at the Barbican. Going to break his own record and make it 8.
1.
Oh, that's absolutely wonderful from Ding, particularly given the disappointment he must have been feeling having lost that 5th frame. Nicely on the black, can he bring the 2 reds above it into play? Oh, that didn't work out as intended.
8. Ding Junhui 8.
That looked ambitious, and he's not got away with it. Maybe the near misses in this final so far beginning to take a bit of a mental toll on Ding.
1. Six. 7.
Ronnie has the angle on the black to play all kinds of shots here, really. Decides, though, to go into the reds. Hang on, there's a red going in, and it's gone in. Wow. Ronnie can take
40.
some solace from the fact, though, I don't think it'd have been on a red anyway.
Oh, I didn't see it, sorry. Okay, yeah.
The referee didn't spot the red going in. I don't know what Ding's played there. There could be 2 reds at the bottom of that little group of 4 near the pink that may be a plant. He didn't look at them. Whether they are, I don't know. Audible encouragement for Ding. This is a great chance for him.
One.
A weak one from Ding. Long, long way short of his intended position. Can still pot the red to the left corner, but it's at least twice as hard as it should have been.
Ding Junhui 6.
He's taken a lot of blows already in this final. 3 frames he'll feel. He should have won. That had gone astray and put RonnieO'Sullivan in this, at the moment, commanding position, which he's now threatening to further extend. It's a 62nd ranking final appearance for O'Sullivan, going for his 40th title.
Four. Five.
Could play another cannon if you wished into the 4 reds below the pink, just to use them as a stopper for the cue ball. Oh, it's been a bit unlucky there. Very awkward cueing this.
12. Yeah, sure.
Well, particularly with the bridge rest, this is not nice.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
As for the extended spider, never fun when you're having to cue over multiple balls like this. Only a tiny bit of the cue ball to aim at, and you're striking down from above. All sorts of things can go wrong.
Oh, that's well then. Yeah.
All kinds of equipment coming out now. We've got the scaffolding. Rest on bridge rest, as Dominic likes to call it. He's not a Spider-Man.
Thank you, Ronnie.
He's touched
Foul.
the red. So at the end of all of that,
Ronnie
it's foul
O'Sullivan,
4 away.
Junhui, 4.
Applause from the crowd for the honesty, being back at the table. Yep. So now Ding's got the same shot.
These implements do look rather ungainly, don't they?
Excellent, really good. It didn't look much, that shot, but it was superbly executed. And it's given Ding a chance to claw a frame back. Well played.
Eight. Nine. $60. $70.
Ninth on the all-time list of ranking event winners, Ding Junhui with 14. He hasn't won one
24.
since he last won this in 2019, 4 years ago.
25.
Good news for Ding is that he won't need to bother about the 2 awkward reds on cushion rails.
30.
Last year it was Ding building a commanding lead. 4-1 became 6-1 against Mark Allen. And at that stage there only looked to be one winner of the final. Allen had other ideas in the final session, winning 9 of the last 10 frames. The boot's on the other foot today. Ding playing catch-up.
38.
But that red
39.
should win him his second frame. He's shown a lot of resilience throughout the week against Allen. 4-2 down, feeling decidedly under the weather. 4-5 down to Mark Williams. Last night was a tough battle with the player of the season, Judd Trump. He came through.
46.
And all of those qualities required again today if he's to give Ronnie O'Sullivan a run for his money. O'Sullivan nods his head. He inadvertently fouled when he was using rest and bridge rest. Ding executed that shot and did the rest to close to 4-2.
Ding Junhui to break.
With 2 more to play in this session.
I think realistically, if Ding can share the remaining 2 frames of this afternoon session and just go into this evening session with a 5-3 deficit, that's easily retrievable, but anything worse, then there won't be as much pressure on Ronnie O'Sullivan.
He has potted some long balls today, and that's another cracker into that left corner. The one in the 5th frame was one of the best of the tournament. That wasn't shabby either. Just the 1 point though.
Ding Junhui 1.
I'm sure Ding attempted to hide this potentially potable red. Maybe the cue ball just deviated a fraction. See some of the frame scores there. That second frame was the key one, wasn't it? Ding missed that pink to the right centre when he looked set to level up at 1-all.
Another terrific pot, and this time he's held for the black. Wonderful potting from range from Ding. He's going for it. He's not going to take a backward step in his bid to get right back into this final.
40.
And after that miss pink, of course, it was the miss black into the left corner that cost him in the 3rd frame. These are encouraging signs for Ding. 4-1 behind, having lost yet another tight frame. He's responded well.
$16. $17. $24.
Won the first of his 14 ranking titles as a wild card, beating the great Stephen Hendry in the process when he was just 18.
$25.
He's had to carry the hopes of a nation ever since. Scrutinised for his every shot, adored back home, but equally the pressure that he's had to deal with throughout his career to produce on the big occasion has been immense. It's been a difficult journey for him at times, but how well has he handled it? And he's emerged on the other side, still one of the top players in the game.
30.
Wonderful CV, just the World Championship that's missing.
Thank you.
But there's still time.
33.
He's still only 36.
$40. $41.
Ding's positional play remains absolutely faultless, really. The majority of the balls that have cost him dearly have been rather simple misses, really, when in prime
48.
position.
How different the scoreboard might have
49.
looked had he taken those chances, but that's gone now. He can't change that. What he can do is get himself within a frame with one more to come in this session.
Go on, Ding, you're right. 56.
He's potted a couple of magnificent long balls early in this frame and then attacked the bunch to give himself the chance to win his second on the bounce.
57.
Yes, you're absolutely right, Phil. Some of the long pots we've seen from Ding have been nothing short of spectacular, really. He really is cueing magnificently. But he's just dealt himself a couple of severe psychological blows. Is the blue going to reach? Oh, my goodness.
I don't think Ding was sure. The crowd weren't sure. Just about had
62.
the weight to disappear. This red and another colour.
63.
Didn't hold back on frame ball, looking for position. It's not quite worked out,
69.
but there's only 67 remaining, so O'Sullivan needs one snooker as things stand. And he's not going to get the chance to play for them. Ding Junhui is showing real mettle here. 4-1 behind in the circumstances in which he lost 3 of those frames. Could really have laid him low, but he's come out fighting.
77.
And he's back in the mix.
78.
Yes, and now a 5-3 deficit is guaranteed at worst. He'll be gunning for 4-all. What a result that would be from 4-1 behind.
And he is cueing quite superbly. Long game, short game.
80.
He's looking $1 million. It was just those 2 errant pots that proved so expensive, and then of course lost a tight 5th frame, which might have won. But he's not allowed himself to get down
86.
about that. He's just focused on what he can influence, what's ahead of him,
87.
not dwelt on what he can't.
$94. 95.
And now, within a pot of a 12th century of the tournament. Wonderful. This final is coming to the boil. Ronnie O'Sullivan
102.
was outstanding before the interval in punishing Ding's mistakes. But now it's the three-time champion's turn to show
105.
his class.
$109. $114.
Not just the break, but the intent from Ding. So impressive.
Junhui,
He's not cowed by the prospect of trying to topple O'Sullivan in a big final here at the Barbican, and he's right back in contention. Back-to-back frames for Ding. He's shown his tenacity once again, and so Ronnie O'Sullivan breaking off in a bid to take a two-frame cushion into the finale tonight.
The interesting thing for me here, Phil, is that Ronnie O'Sullivan, unless I'm mistaken, hasn't made a 30 break since we came back from the interval. Perhaps that's something to do with the reason he's lost the last couple of frames.
Correct. His highest break, in fact, since he led 3-0, is just 31. Of course, he pinched that very tight fifth frame on the pink. Ding at it again from long range. He got very close. Just 19 points from O'Sullivan in the last two frames. 60 centuries here at the venue. We had 80 in qualifying, including, of course, a maximum from Siu Sir against Mai Hai Long. And if anyone makes two in the Triple Crown Series this season, they'll be picking up a bonus of £147,000.
Needless to say, this is a very important frame for both of these players. Ding will be absolutely thrilled to go into this evening session level at 4-all. Ronnie O'Sullivan would be very disappointed, you'd feel.
Just a little out of stroke now, O'Sullivan, having been largely confined to his chair since he led 4-1.
One.
Be looking to get onto the black as soon as possible. I wonder if that red next to the black will pot anywhere. It's very tight. It's not touching the black, but it's very close.
Seven.
I think Ding has shown how he has matured as a player down the years in this final today. In previous periods of his career, those errors he made that cost him a couple of frames would have affected him very negatively and might well have cost him
40.
any chance of winning a final like this. Not anymore.
50.
He's always found inspiration here at the Barbican. 3 titles, runner-up last year, back in the final this. And now, within sight of of restoring parity, and what a result that would be
22.
from 4-1 behind.
23.
Doesn't have
30.
the angle just to run through for the black directly, but he may be able to just nudge off the reds to do so. I'll say nudge off the reds.
31.
Blasted through them. But he does have some sort of a shot at the black, but my goodness, there's pressure on this.
Feels like he's really picked up the pace as well, Ding, in the last couple of frames. There's been real intent about the way in which he's gone about his snooker. Playing at 20 seconds a shot now, just 1 second slower than O'Sullivan. And that is another terrific recovery pot. He's in the zone.
38.
Had to get it. Has to keep getting them now, though. What a chance he's created for himself here to get out of this session on as even.
Thank you.
When you're playing as well as Ding is and scoring heavily,
39.
and you're feeling good, it's much easier to be focused and concentrated and be in the zone, as sportsmen like to say. But when you miss pots that cost you dearly, getting back in the zone can take quite a while.
$46. $47.
His record overall against O'Sullivan is modest, just 5 wins to O'Sullivan's 19. He went nearly a decade without beating him. And I think a psychological barrier was well and truly broken with his
54.
victory over 25 frames at the Crucible. He's beaten him in the 2 previous UK meetings, whitewashed him last year in the quarters.
55.
And showing that, far from being intimidated by the great man, he's actually excited about testing his skills against the all-time best cueist.
$62.
If Ding could make a winning clearance here, he'll be the best part of 300 points or more without reply from Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Who described him ahead of this final as the best break builder he's seen. Well, most people
Thanks, Ding.
would say O'Sullivan is, but when Ding
63.
is playing as he is right now, he is a joy to watch. And he's 2 balls away from 4 each.
Oh, don't tell me. Don't tell me he's gone behind the red.
70. Touching ball.
Would you believe it? Is it not on a red?
Yeah, touching ball, yeah.
The body language would suggest not, just clarifying with Rob Spencer that it is indeed a touching ball. Unbelievable, really. On such fine margins, can frames, matches, finals be won and lost. Gonna have to suck it up and play safe.
Thanks, Ding. Ding Junhui 7.
Yes, putting the black safe because he knows that Ronnie O'Sullivan will need it. 6 red, 6 pinks and all the colours wouldn't quite be enough.
Another beautiful break from Ding, but not quite enough. And we've been here before this afternoon. He knows the job isn't done. Fair to say that didn't go to plan, but what's he left? Nothing easy for sure. The red is frame ball.
Ronnie's hidden that red near the yellow pocket, but I just wonder if Ding can play a red. It's a thin cut towards that one that's over the yellow pocket and going off it somehow.
Can you turn that off, please?
Just having a look at it now as our referee Rob Spencer absconds somebody for having a phone on.
What is it? Oh, right.
Well, surely that's it for O'Sullivan in this frame. What a turnaround in this session. O'Sullivan looked pin sharp early on. He was punishing Ding's mistakes, and there were a couple of glaring ones that cost him 2 frames back to back. Found him 3-0 behind, then he lost a tight one for 4-1 behind. And he might have folded. He's done the complete opposite. He's also fluked himself a snooker on the red. It doesn't matter. What a final here at the UK Championship we now have in store this evening. It's a stirring fight back from Ding Junhui. He managed to block out.
Ding Junhui to break.
Ding Junhui to get the second half of the final underway. 4-4, he was 4-1 down. He fought back superbly when it looked like at one stage he might be blown away here. And that's been the story really of the tournament for him. Dug in against Mark Allen, dug in against Mark Williams, of course had that thriller with Judd Trump. He was actually the first player to qualify, Ding, back on Judgment Day. Will he be the last man standing? Or will it be this man for an 8th time? Settle back and enjoy the evening ahead. Big shot to play in frame 1 of the night. It's just a question of whether Ding can pick up immediately. Had they stayed out there, you'd fancy him strongly to carry on, but it's been a good break, a good sort of 3 hours since the last session. What an atmosphere, Alan.
Yeah, that was a spine-tingling reception that both players got moments ago. Almost taking a breather for a couple of shots. Good evening to you all. Thanks for your company. This is going to be quite some evening. One of the biggest evenings of the snooker calendar.
Thanks, Ding. Thank you.
Yeah, the way that Ding played, I think the O'Sullivan alarm bells will be ringing. Never going to panic, but he knows the quality and the talented, educated fingers of Ding Junhui, the way he's played, the way he finished the session. It was an onslaught. And I think Ronnie was glad when the end of the session came.
Worth remembering how well he regrouped in that World Final back in 2022. Judd Trump had dominated the 3rd session And it came out, it was like it was a different match at the evening, and that's experience, I guess. He got away, didn't he, with the long red he took on. He didn't leave Ding in. Ball's in inviting positions for whoever does get in first.
One attempt each, no joy yet. Probably still living the tension of those intros. The one thing I think everyone's delighted to see is that we're seeing Ding back to something like his best, because we need him up there at the top of the game. He's too good not to be regularly. He's been posted missing for most of the last 3 or so years. We need him up there doing his thing, because he does it in such a incredible way. His cue ball today was sensational.
Yeah, if he were to win, Ding, he'd go up to number 6th in the world on the official 2-year list. And on the 1-year list, 2nd. He'd be in all the Players' Series and all of that. He would be anyway, I think, if you finish runner-up. But back where he kind of belongs, the top end of the list.
One.
So Sullivan breaks the deadlock and ends that run of unanswered points, 2-4-1.
Four.
So 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Here's part 3 to get him in, perhaps, for a good chance.
Five.
The brown's not an option, not the pot. I wouldn't think it's too difficult, the queuing.
RonnieO'Sullivan, 5.
Well, it's always a great occasion, but the ticket holders, people who've paid their money to come along, what a night they've got here. History either way. O'Sullivan extending the record for UK titles to 8, Ding becoming only the 4th player to win at least 4. Well, he's had a look at the potting angle of the red, as you can see. In it goes.
One.
Good chance then this for O'Sullivan to get going for a second time this evening.
Eight.
Rob Spencer taking charge of the final. Pink spot 3, so that's where the black's gone.
9.
30 years ago, O'Sullivan became the youngest UK champion at 17. If he wins tonight, he'll become the oldest at 47. It's his birthday actually in just a couple of days' time.
$40. 50.
Yeah, got to work the cue ball here. The natural goes into the face of the yellow.
20. $21. $26. $27.
Key shot now. Bit awkward. That left shoulder high to avoid the red. He's not just the best player we've ever seen that's ever walked the planet.
32.
One of the reasons for it is because he's largely unaffected by these type of occasions. He's able to play sort of off-the-cuff snooker when the stakes are at the very highest, which of course they are tonight. It's another fabulous shot to create an angle through pace. Just working on getting that black into play.
$38. $39.
This time no impediment to the far corner, can get down on it properly. And finds the middle of the pocket this time. Good to go now.
$44. $45.
It's always the case, of course, with these finals, and we see it at the World Championship, the multi-session matches. Yes, it's one match, but it's divided up, and there's been 3 hours for O'Sullivan to collect his thoughts, draw on all the experience he has. Ding fought back well, but then they had to stop playing. O'Sullivan has clearly regrouped.
51.
And this is the pot that should make it 5-4.
Yeah, and the smartness of that shot, he knew that the blue would put him past the threshold. He didn't want to risk the black in the middle. Remember the pink that Ding missed earlier today when he should have won the frame.
56.
So even although it's off the cuff and looks good doing it, he thinks his way around the table.
57.
And that red surely stops any recovery playing on from Ding. '62nd ranking final, looking for a 40th title. Would be his first, of course, in a ranking event since that 7th world title
63.
in May 2022.
$70. 71. $78. 79.
Well, what a start to a big, big night. The question marks coming in after losing the last three the way he did have been answered emphatically.
$84.
Break ends at 84.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 84 on the front.
Ronnie O'Sullivan back in front. As the evening session gets underway here in York, it's the 7 times champion who nudges ahead, 5-4. Of the UK Championship final, cranks into life. O'Sullivan winning the first frame there with a break of 84. 10 the target, of course, for victory. $250,000 to the winner. Ding, of course, was runner-up last year to Mark Allen. He made the running in that match. He led 6-1. In fact, the worst he's ever been halfway in a UK final is 4 each with John Higgins 2009. He went on to win 10-8, never been behind coming into the final session. Just felt this week there's been something sort of blessed about Ding in York. He could easily have lost to Mark Allen. He wasn't feeling well anyway in the match. Was 4-2 down, turned that round. Of course, had a big match with Tom Ford for the Masters, beat him. Was 5-4 down to Mark Williams. They had that extraordinary frame with the record points, but won the last 2 there. And then last night held off Judd Trump, and that's after coming through 2 rounds of qualifying as well. But he's playing someone who holds a 19-5 winning record against him in previous meetings.
One.
Yeah, the red drop maybe not the best kiss though.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 1.
Looking to keep the pressure on here in the early exchanges.
Yeah, didn't bargain for the bump of the middle pocket. Ding has a couple of options to either corner. Yes, I like this one too, the one in the open left of the black. Anything but a thin miss, and he won't contact the red on the way back. That's okay. I think Ronnie also will sense that Ding's long game is in terrific nick. So that type of shot he's playing there, he knows that he can't leave anything sticking out. So Ronnie, I think in some ways, as I say, he's aware of everything. He'll be aware of that fact, and that puts a wee bit of pressure on the O'Sullivan safety. Going to invite Ronnie to have a red along the end cushion or one to middle here. Didn't have many other appealing options, so the gauntlet has been laid down.
One.
This blue, Ronnie O'Sullivan was in the practice room playing tons of these this morning for this moment right here. Nope.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, one.
It's one of those, you see him pop plenty. I do think that the concern for him this afternoon was once he started missing, he carried on. There was a period where he did struggle. It's up to Ding, obviously, to pounce now whenever that does happen.
One.
It's also noticeable just how popular he is here, Ding. You know, you saw it on the intros, we've seen it outside, plenty of people waiting for autographs and selfies. And that's, of course, because he's done so well here, but also just he's conducted himself so well for his country over the years and for snooker in general. His form has been a bit erratic, you know, he's been yo-yoing in and out of the top 16, but this run here, just getting to the final, really makes him secure for now, and if he were to win it, then he'd be back in the top 8. Just one wrinkle here as well. If O'Sullivan were to win, then they'd play each other in the first round at the Masters. If Ding wins, then Ronnie would play Mark Williams, Ding would play Ali Carter. Because it would affect where Ding would be seeded, top 8 or not.
Sorry. Ten. Eleven. 16.
This is where his superior cue ball is likely to come in handy, spinning this round the corner. Got to get topside.
17.
Fabulous shot. Look at that. Absolutely to the millimetre he played that. It's the hallmark of his game.
Yeah, you just feel that this is
22.
a stage he should be on. You know, these big finals, we sort of missed him a bit since last year when he won, when he got to the final. Won 6 of the first 7 frames against Mark Allen.
23.
Won the 6 reds, didn't he? But since then he's been quiet. He had that extraordinary business where he was Dr. Frame at the English Open because he was wearing trousers that were basically too smart for the dress code. Only in snooker could that happen. Took it on the chin. But it is in his beloved York where he's come good again. Important visit this. We've seen O'Sullivan start really well, looking confident, made that 84. Ding wants to show him he's feeling good as well.
That was a strange one. That was a wee bit weak.
28.
So he's got to almost use the cannoning red as a cushion. And screw off it. Nothing he can't handle, but it's quite an unusual shot. Played it beautifully.
29.
It might just work in his favour now, that the one that he cannoned back up table, the one he's about to pot,
33.
is now out the way. So this next shot in the blue,
34.
just high of straight in the red. Absolutely played again. See,
39.
those are the brilliant shots in this game. It's not the... Look at that, just high of straight. Those are the shots that a snooker player looks at and you think, whoa, what a shot that was. Basically because you're trying to land it on a halfpenny piece, and when you do it you think, whoa, it's a proper shot.
$47. $48.
So the next red will leave O'Sullivan
55.
needing a snooker. If he pots it, remember what happened earlier on, frame 2, Mr. Pink, O'Sullivan cleared up. In it goes though.
56.
Kind of had to just focus on potting it, so one snooker needed.
Ding Junhui, 56.
Yeah, good 56. That was a clever shot that he played. Just pushing the pink away from the reds because of the potential of Ronnie peeling off the two red blacks and tucking him in behind the pink, so that's not on now. Good thinking. Advanced stuff that was. Always got to look ahead for danger.
Thank you, Stephen.
That was a very abrupt concession, wasn't it? O'Sullivan had seen enough. Game on again, 5 each. And this final, you just get the feeling tonight could turn into an absolute classic. Everyone settling down for frame 11 of a possible 19. Ding has made 56, O'Sullivan 84 in the first of the evening. Played in 5 previous finals, O'Sullivan's won 4 of them. But of course, Ding has a couple of wins over him at this very venue, including 6-0 last year in the quarter-finals.
One.
Yeah, lovely pot. It's kind of almost the O'Sullivan way now as to... He doesn't sort of produce too many thunderbolts from baulk these days. He does the odd one, of course, but... Very good at those type of shots, just picking off his opponent from baulk. Also interesting that he conceded there with, you know, still possibilities of winning the frame, but he wants to get on with it. He actually, I think, wants this to be an entertaining contest. You'd like to win, of course you would.
4.
But always mindful of wanting to entertain, like Ding.
5. No. So.
Yeah, terrific shot. Pity the red doesn't go to right corner.
$60.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking. I was
17.
thinking of the one by the black spot. What a terrific pick out that was, considering he didn't know it was on.
$24. $25. $32. 33.
Such an unusual position that red's in, isn't it? The black will go in its spot, obviously. But the red is no good to either corner.
Well, that's what he thought of that.
Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Not much.
40. One.
He's been playing this shot particularly well, getting the cue ball working off the pink. This time goes in medium pace, so it wasn't going to happen that way. Still on one, but not easy.
6.
It's a key moment, I think, in the evening. Every chance, had he potted that, to go on and take the lead. O'Sullivan, as it is, 34 in front as he comes back to the table. Showed a bit of frustration, missing the previous pot when he was at the table.
One. Eight.
So that tells us the black is actually on its spot. It's not as close to the red as possible, as we see the miss again by Ding. Because the pink spot is in the open. So it's causing him an issue here, that one red.
9.50.
Virtual frame ball with the pink waiting.
60.
Yeah, when he missed that pot with the rest, he clearly wasn't happy, but the fact that it hasn't been costly, you can put that to one side.
22. 23.
So the pink for 6-5. It's wearing a match where not
29.
that much is really being missed. The red from Ding, it was a thin clip to that right corner. The fact that he missed it was significant, clearly. Not just
30.
because meant he broke down, but as I say, it allows O'Sullivan to recover from what happened when he was in and not sort of sit in his chair getting frustrated.
37.
He's had to battle hard at times in this tournament. Robert Milkins had a
38.
great chance, several actually, to beat him in their decider. Zhou Long was 5-4 up against him. Same Bafai came out confident, but O'Sullivan put him away in the semis. One
45.
last effort needed tonight.
46. $53. 54. 60. 62. 65. 69. 74. 80.
So it was indeed a key miss from Ding. And that's why O'Sullivan clears up very nicely with 87. And he's back in front in the UK Championship final. It's a swift affair, this. Frames going by, averaging about 14 minutes.
Take your seats, please.
I thought the way Ronnie played that long red was telling. I mentioned earlier that he'll be wary as Ding gets a bonus cover in bulk. He'll be wary of Ding's game in close with good reason, obviously. But the fact that he went deep on the cue ball to come back for bulk colour tells you that he is wary. Against a lot of players, he would have just gone middle ball, stay for the blue, because that way the pot's easier. But he knows the consequences of leaving Ding in close.
Foul, the miss. Ding Junhui 4. 1. Junhui 1.
Something else to note with this type of shot, he did it in his last shot, Ronnie. He's sort of tiptoeing his way through these safety shots, very thin contact. This time, yeah, okay, well, has he got the fluke? That surprises me, that he played figure of 8. I mean, there's nothing on the right wing in baulk for cover. That was a strange one. I know he wants to get the game on and the game flowing and make moves, but there was no move to make on that occasion. Easy pot this, cushion first. Can he get the cue ball out of there? You would imagine he's going to get some kind of flick on a red. Just a question of whether it's a good one. Nearly.
Blue ball, thank you. Junhui 1.
Humper bridging, that might be almost as good as a snooker, maybe even better if Ronnie just about get to the middle of the cue ball, but this is a toughie. Been hitting this shot well. He potted one against Judd. It was the other side of the table. It was into the other top left corner. It was the red that got him over the line, wasn't it, against Judd Trump? Not the exact same shot, but similar. Yeah, deciding on the straighter one. So, pink and black waiting, get the pot. He's guaranteed, you'd think, to be on one. Just was a wee bit surprised he didn't play the one out in the open. I mean, he's the man behind the cue, he knows how he's feeling, but that was a tough pot in any circumstances.
One.
Well, that has to go down into reprieve for Ding. The fact that O'Sullivan wasn't away again. Been a lot of heavy scoring in the final, but the interesting thing, of course, is what happens before that. What happens to get the players in, and psychologically that can make such a difference as well. Ding has made a century, 114 in frame 7. O'Sullivan's best break, 91 in frame 3.
There's no doubt that of the two, Ding is the aggressor. But Ronnie will be glad to pick up the pieces as and when the chances come. And here's another good one.
Yeah, that's it, because it's such an open game. Invariably, when the chances come, they're all kind of there. But anything's missable, as we know. He's trying to just get some clear blue water here at 7-5. The thing is, if he could choose anyone to lose to, it would probably be Ding. He loves Ding, but the fact is he still wants to beat him tonight and win this title for an 8th time. It's been such an effort all week from him.
$40. $50.
Yeah, I definitely think of the two players. It seems to me that
22.
Ding is the one who's playing actually the better of the two, or to put it another way, feels more comfortable with his own game. But of course, these guys are that good that if you let them in close, as Ding has here, it doesn't really matter how O'Sullivan, or Ding for that matter, are feeling about their game. They're going to punish you. In this sort of chance, it's like picking it up off the floor for these guys.
31.
But that's the gamble.
37.
And Ding, as I say, so far, just seems like the more likely to play a hand than Ronnie.
$44. 45.
See, even here, he's been so watchful. Two reds in the open, you think, no problem. Wants to play on both of them if he can. So he's spinning the cue ball round to try and just put it into open play, but he wants to play in both reds. You see that? He's being more watchful.
50. $51.
So 2 more pots needed for 7-5. Ding's aggression is admirable, but he's going to have to start getting them
56.
because he's leaving chances that you just cannot leave for Ronnie O'Sullivan.
57.
He's won the mini session then, and he's too clear of getting the final. Ding needs another rally like we saw this afternoon from 4-1 down, like we saw in round 1 from Mark Allen against Mark Allen from 4-2 down.
63.
Still time.
64. $71. 72.
Well, the one thing he's not done yet is make a century in the final. He's had 4 in the tournament.
$79.
Gonna have to be the double. Well, not to be, but 79 once again. He's taken advantage of a chance that was presented to him, and Ronnie O'Sullivan has moved 3 frames away.
Ding Junhui to break.
So Ding Junhui gets the UK Championship final back underway. He's trailing 7-5 to Ronnie O'Sullivan, who's won 3 of the first 4 frames this evening. 10 needed to become champion. It would be an 8th success for O'Sullivan, a 4th for Ding in this great tournament. The final mini session of the UK Championship. O'Sullivan needs 3. Ding from here would have to win 5-2. He'd have to produce the sort of rally he did from 4-1 down to 4-4 at the end of the afternoon.
One.
Yeah, couldn't do anything about the cue ball. Flirting with that corner now. I think he had a glance at the blue, but it's a shot you hardly ever play. Such a scary shot. But again, he's pressing and trying to stay positive as he can. Very unlucky. Great pot.
6.
And virtually bolt straight on the red along the cushion. This time his hands are tied as far as
Ding Junhui 6.
to be aggressive. Sometimes you just gotta, well, not take what's there. It's just too difficult, that red along the cushion. Might be pushing the black safe here.
Tickets for next year's UK Championship went on general sale this morning, already being snapped up. So, a mistake now. Ding is at that point where he has to start taking advantage.
One.
Pink spot occupied. So this becomes a decent chance now.
7. 8.
Yeah, and it's been an adversity where he's played his best snooker in the tournament. Even going back to the first qualifying match, he was 4-3 down to Daniel Wells. You know, those qualifiers can be pretty sticky affairs. He got through 6-4, 4-2 down to Mark Allen, 5-4 down to Mark Williams. And it looked for all the world like it would be a decider with Judd Trump. That seemed to be what the script was saying, but Ding played a very good 10th frame to get it won. So when the pressure's come on, and we saw it again this afternoon, 4-1 down, he has responded.
15.
Now, does he risk the cannon on the two together to make the pink spot open? Yeah, good shot. It's just that bit easier to work off on from its own spot. Just watching his cue action there, I've been more vocal than most in the last 2 or 3 years about some sort of flaw, which I don't like saying, in Ding's cue action on delivery. I actually watched back this morning when I woke up. I watched the 2009 UK final against John Higgins where he won 10-8. Just to sort of have a look back, a retrospective of how he was striking the ball then.
27.
And I'm pleased to see that he's sort of
28.
rectified it, not completely, but it's much better than it has been in the last couple of years.
$33.
There you go. So let's just see how quickly the transition from pullback to delivery on this one is. It's quite a quick
34.
delivery there, wasn't it? You know, he's still just about okay. It's the odd shot. It doesn't look like it did back in the day. Still okay.
$40. $41.
It's just a wee bit quicker than it ever has been, but he's somehow been able to manage it in this championship.
$46. Thank you. 47.
So in between yellow, brown, Little trace of left-hand side. Just beat the middle pocket with a cue ball. Oh, that'll do nicely. So,
52.
not out the woods just yet, but the possibilities there. Looking for red, colour, red.
Thanks, Junhui.
Well, he missed a pink to that pocket in frame 2. O'Sullivan cleared up from 63 behind. The balls were in much nicer positions then. This is a tough table. Even so, it could have been over. Ding was closing in on 7-6.
One.
You just never know, do you, with this man, what he could conjure up here.
Four.
She didn't quite work out trying to develop the red, so 54 in it, a possible 67 on.
RonnieO'Sullivan, 4.
Yeah, Ding, of course, desperate not to open up the 2 lots of safe reds.
Thank you.
Concern on Ronnie's face as he left this. I mean, if you can see the red, it's no problem, the pot. It's just whether he can get it thin enough. Nope. Now, this could take on a whole new complexion. Ronnie just releases these 2 reds here and doesn't leave a pot on. Takes on a whole new complexion. Has he left the plant?
Well, this pink would get him 61 in front with 59 on. But of course, if he doesn't pot it, then well, the clearance could be on.
Ding Junhui 1.
No time like the present. He knows he's got to make a move quickly. Now's the time. Got to get this though.
So, Ding relieved to get this second chance here. O'Sullivan not happy at all to have left it.
1.
Ding, of course, made the running in the frame with the 52. This time, it looks like he has held on. When they made the draw,
7.
which was top 16 in one hat, qualifiers in another, he was the name everyone wanted to avoid. And of course Mark Allen was the man who had to play him on day one. Ding, wherever he's ranked, everybody is fully aware of how good he has been, how good he still can be. And we've seen a lot of that this week. He may need to still produce his best snooker of the week to win this, but he's hanging on in there. Wasn't the cleanest kill, but he's won the first frame back after the interval. So just one frame separates them again. Ronnie O'Sullivan now leading. Of course, in this final, he did get to level at 4-4 and at 5-5. Still a possible 6 frames to play. Nicely done, cue ball held up. Can he produce another spell like we saw from 4-1 down when he was superb for 3 frames?
Four. Five. Ten. 11. Sixteen.
I like the fact, that was awkward, but he kind of didn't make a meal of it, did he? He got into position pretty much immediately, ready to play it. Played it well. Of course, it is the middle of the night in China, but I'm sure there'll be plenty watching this.
24.
Fascinating battle, of course, with Ronnie O'Sullivan, who's popular all around the world.
31. $32. $39.
Aggressive intent by Ding, calculating that he would have needed at least one of the reds in the pack.
40.
And now that little flick on the brown, he's well set to draw level again. Ronnie can't get away from him. He's playing with a supreme confidence, I believe, as Ding. I think he did against Judd Trump in the semi-final. He's playing in a way that I think he believes he's going to win this ultimately tonight. There's a difference between really believing that you're going to win and just wanting to win and hoping you're going to win. It's just the way that he's going about it. He's playing with a style and a speed that it's like he wants to get it done quickly. He really is motoring when he gets this type of chance. Almost irritated that he's got to go back and get the mini butt extension. Just got to dot the I's and cross the T's of this chance now.
$52.
Ronnie's break off was loose, and this is the consequences of it. I believe Ding is, by a distance, is playing the best of the two of them.
Two more reds required
58.
to win the frame in one visit and really raise the temperature in this final.
59.
Demonstrating here what a wonderful break builder he is, but what a time to pull out a contribution like this.
66.
Frame ball for 7-7.
67.
He's made 12 centuries in the UK Championship, including 3 in qualifying. The record for a single UK
74.
Championship is 13. Neil Robertson back in 2020. You can equal that
74.
here. What a time to do it. And he's showing great intent. He's showing Ronnie O'Sullivan he believes he can win. And he's playing snooker here of the quality that suggests he's right.
80. 81. $88. 89.
I love how quickly he gets locked
96.
into the shot when he gets down. Boom. And he's there. It all happens so naturally. What a
97.
gift he has. This for the century.
13th of the tournament for Ding Junhui. It's going to end here, I suspect.
104. Foul.
But
RonnieO'Sullivan 4.
what a time to make that 104. To level up dramatically. Just one chance needed and he took it. The final has turned.
Ding Junhui to break.
Ding Junhui in the ascendancy in the UK Championship final. He's won the last two. He's never been in front. Is this the moment it changes? 7-all. He's equalled Neil Robertson's record of 13 century breaks in a single UK Championship. And he's playing the sort of snooker that suggests he can continue, but of course he can turn back. He knocked in a long red in the last frame. Can O'Sullivan return the favour here at the start of frame 15?
Yeah, sure.
Just noticed something on the cue ball.
Oh, sweet snooker symphony. The sound of that was the impressive thing, forgetting the pot itself. What a shot. Full of risk, but full of intent.
Sullivan's just gone back to his chair while the referee, Rob Spencer, gets the pink into precise position here, just below its own spot.
Thank you. 7.
Just giving Ronnie actually a chance to survey the scene, what he has on offer.
Eight. $50. 60. 23. 24.
'Just got a glimpse of that red there on the southeast corner of the
30.
pack. It does go to left corner, so that's worth noting. More access to it once this red is removed.
$32. 37. 38.
Yeah, he had some easy pickings there, but decided to shake the tree and get to the sweet ones. So now, you would think, with one good positional shot, he's all set to take the lead again. That's beautifully played.
40. 41.
Yet to make a century, O'Sullivan in the final, but a frame-winning break. Doesn't really matter whether it's 80, 90 or 100. Gets you on the board. It's also when you do it, you know, he'd sat out
48.
really 2 frames. Question was, could he find the response? The long red flew in, first shot. He's controlled things superbly. And he's given himself every chance to edge back in front.
56. 57.
I think this is as good a frame of snooker as he's played in the whole tournament. The way he's controlled it and given the circumstance with Ding coming back at him. You know, we're late on in the final now.
$62. 63.
Well, 6 minutes that break to get to the frame ball
70.
position. Just absolutely brilliant.
71.
Yeah, we know all about the way these guys play these days and the way they're capable of
78.
playing something that's never crept into
79.
top level snooker is the break-off shot in terms of switching. The last 2 frames, the red has been offered up on the right wing and it's been dispatched with the minimum of fuss.
86.
Ding made a century. You got to think Ronnie's about to reply in kind. I just think sometimes that players should switch the break-off. They're both playing
86.
from the yellow, as we call it, in between yellow-brown. So it'll be interesting to see if Ding offers up that, or sorry, Ronnie offers up the red to Ding this next frame on the way. I say offer up, it's not deliberate, but it's just a habit that you sometimes can't shake.
93.
So the black then, for his first century of the final. What a time to make it. Ding was in a groove.
100.
But O'Sullivan has stepped in with a terrific 100 exactly. Ding just can't quite get in front of him. He keeps pegging him back. He can't get ahead. It's O'Sullivan who leads once again.
16th frame.
Frame 16 of a possible 19. 8-7. O'Sullivan has just made his first century of this year's final, the 5th he's made in the tournament.
Here's this red again. From a neutral point of view, I'm glad he didn't knock that in and make another century. I want to see a battle to get control of a frame.
Foul. You miss. I'll check it, Ronnie. Yeah, it's okay. That's all right.
Okay, well, he's not sure whether contact was made, so
Jim, have you got it on there?
the referee's gone down to
Can you show it me on there?
look on the camera. Jim Kenton-Jones, one of the great cameramen, he's going to come into play here. If he can get the replay on his camera. Referee's going to look at it.
Just spots looking in if you find it right.
Just go back. I can't see it moving.
Can't
there.
quite see the actual potential point of contact there.
Just go back again. Really slow now.
The red doesn't move at all, so if he hit it, it was very thin.
Okay, all right. It's not a foul, Ollie. It touched the red.
Okay, well, he's decided he did touch it.
Yeah, good stuff that by Rob Spencer. It was difficult to tell one way or the other, wasn't it? But I think he also took into consideration, he put trust in the player, and that's a brilliant thing. But yeah, it did look like it was almost like the wind. the cue ball in the way past just rocked the red ever so slightly.
Yeah, what I liked about all that is he found a solution there, the referee. He didn't just sort of shrug his shoulders and say, well, that was my decision. You know, he actually attempted to sort it out, and it was all done very quickly, sensibly.
Ding will be thankful to see the black parking on this end cushion, but Ronnie does have a natural path round this red on the left cush, but can he avoid the pack on the way back up table? Surprised he played it that pacey.
RonnieO'Sullivan 1.
About 1 degree of angle on it, but can't get to the left half of the cue ball to spin the cue ball out of there. Yeah, so he decided to punch it and got as much out of it as was possible.
It is notable how much support he's getting. Of course, when they played in that Masters final, 2007, and Ding was still a teenager at the time, the crowd there were not, or sections of it anyway, were not as nice to him. Let's just put it that way. It was pretty hostile at times, and it was quite an upsetting occasion, but this is much different here in York. But
Junhui
missed that one.
Yeah, terrific opening red. I mean, us guys are privileged. We get to see the best players in the world at close quarters. I was in the practice room this morning, and that long red was the one that Ronnie was practicing.
7.
What's he got here in terms of angle? Yeah, he's having to manipulate it, stun. Almost stun come follow through, he just didn't quite have the natural.
12. RonnieO'Sullivan, 12.
Here's another one of those practice shots. And he was going deep on the cue ball this morning and spinning it back. Can he find another? Yep.
Five.
Oh, this could develop. This is a huge shot. If he can just get any contact on the black with one of the reds. Yeah.
11.
Now then, this pink thin cut to middle, does he play it? What a massive shot of the final if he plays it. It's thinner than it looks on screen. We'll get to see it from floor camera perhaps. Not this time, but this is it. There it is. Wow. What a big shot that was.
Yeah, the applause started earlier. Everyone was absolutely sure that was in, but it just dropped in, so now he's got the whole frame at his mercy.
18.
Yeah, he's potted 3 pile drivers in the last 2.5 or 1.5 frames that have given him control
24.
back of this final.
25.
That's the thing, however anyone assesses the way he's played in this tournament, at 7 each he had to step up his game, and he has done. We saw it in the last frame of the century. We've seen the way he's got this frame open at his mercy.
31.
He has stepped it up. And if he can
32.
just finish this frame now, he'll be just one from an 8th UK Championship victory. Quite remarkable.
$38. $39. $45. $46.
It's pink then for 9-7. Every time Ding has pegged him back, O'Sullivan has gone ahead of him again. And now for Ding, the equation is pretty straightforward. He's going to have to win the last 3 frames. Otherwise, it's O'Sullivan's title once again.
53.
Yeah, the UK Championship started in 1977.
59.
The Masters started in 75. No one has won any of them
60.
8 times. You have to go back 55 years. John Pillman won his 8th World Championship. Hey Jude hadn't been released yet.
67.
So history may be imminent, but Ding's not out of this, not by a long chalk. Does he get one more sort of fight in him to somehow get back into this final?
74. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 72.
2 great breaks from O'Sullivan, 100, and that's 74. Barnstorming stuff from the world number 1, and he is 1 away from victory, leading 9-7. Bud O'Sullivan's in. He might only need 1 chance to get this one.
17th frame. Ding Junhui to break.
He's in a bit of trouble here. If he plays the conventional safety shot, he's got to get it absolutely spot on. I can understand him looking for a different option because it's not a nice shot to play. He's got the obvious red to avoid. The blue looms large in the middle of the table.
Foul, a miss. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 5.
Now then, will Ronnie decide to pull the trigger? The answer's yes.
One.
First chance to get it won. Of course, a very special tournament for him. We had all the commemorations earlier this week.
8.
30 years on from becoming the youngest champion. His first breakthrough ranking title success the week before he turned 18.
9.
Many chapters, many volumes in the Ronnie O'Sullivan story since then, and it would seem plenty more to come.
60.
And this would be one of the biggest tonight if he could get to 8 UK titles. When you consider all the talent,
70.
all the players in the game, established players, emerging players, all threatening his supremacy. Here he is with his chance.
$24. $25. 32. 33. 40. 41. 47. 'Thank you. Cheers.
Just about made it.
48.
And he has access still to 2 reds. Does he play the cannon on the right-hand wing ball? Yeah. And they're all for him now. They're there. If this red goes in, he should win it here and now. The quality from Balk has been astonishing in the last few frames.
56.
And if he goes on and wins the title for an 8th time, that'll be the hallmark of the victory. Hasn't been at his best, but when push has came to shove,
60.
He's produced the goods again.
64.
Well, as long as snooker is played, this name, Ronnie O'Sullivan, is going to echo down the ages, and this is why. It's more history for the greatest player ever.
71.
Ding Junhui pushed him
72.
in this final session. Ronnie O'Sullivan responded with his best snooker of the tournament in these last few frames. From 7 each, he has been sublime.
$79.
Look at that, there's a 146 on in the last frame of the tournament. Jusso will be happy to know that his maximum in the qualifiers will still stand, but that will be some way to finish. Ding again has had a great week in York. He's entertained and delighted his many fans. And he did not play badly in this final, but O'Sullivan had just
87.
found something from somewhere to sprint to the line.
88. 94. 95.
Ever the showman, it's going to be a century to finish. We came here talking about 1993, that great breakthrough win, and we end it still talking about Ronnie O'Sullivan.
$108.
Legend.
109.
Yeah, that shout's correct. The legend continues.
$115. 117. 124.
cheering in every ball. And why not? What a sight. Ronnie O'Sullivan in full flow. So 30 years after becoming the youngest winner of this title and 2 days before he turns 48, Ronnie O'Sullivan has become the oldest UK champion. Somehow he keeps on raising the bar. An 8th UK title. He's beaten Ding Junhui 10-7. Then winning it again. For an 8th time. He's not so sure about the medal, but he'll love holding this trophy aloft once again. And the crowd absolutely love watching it.